So my mind's a bit fried. It's blown at the same time, and like many other golf fans out there, we can't believe that this has just happened. I never anticipated that this kind of news, this big news, would have come about. So unless you've been living under a rock for the past 4, 5, 6 hours, first off, where you been? Secondly, hello, I'm Michael, pleased to meet you. Subscribe to the channel. I don't really do these kind of news videos as much, but I'm going to try and do some more, especially with news like this. So any subscriptions, any likes, any comments would be fantastic. And I get the main bit. Yes, so if you've been living under a rock, and you're a golf fan and you've missed this somehow, how? More importantly. But around 4 o'clock, a statement went out and it literally broke Twitter. I'm not even kidding you. I genuinely think Twitter broke just for a second when this news came out. So the PGA put out a statement confirming that themselves, the PGA, the DP World Tour, and PIF, who I believe finance LIV Golf for now, we'll come to that at some point, and they are now all they've merged. They confirmed a merger between everyone under the same roof, hand in hand. Who on earth thought this was going to happen 18 months ago? Because I certainly didn't. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. So when the statement came out, it was literally just confirming everything that we kind of knew from the statement, that the merger had been confirmed. They wanted to put all the venomous kind of spats and debates and what have you of all the tours aside. It's done, it's over, we're all together now. Quit your bitching, basically. But what I found interesting was the bullet points towards the end of the statement, right? And I'm going to read a couple of them out here. So what they wanted to confirm is what they're going to do going forward now that this merger is in place. And notably, today's announcement brings about the end to all pending litigation between the participating entities and prohibits any further recruitment of PGA Tour, DP World Tour or LIV members. We conduct a comprehensive evaluation of LIV Golf and determine how to best to integrate team golf into the professional game. The 2023 LIV Golf schedule will continue as planned. We will work cooperatively to establish a fair and objective process for any players who desire to reapply for membership with the PGA Tour or the DP World Tour following completion of the 2023 season, consistent with each tour's policies. This is a complicated endeavour and one that will be guided by established PGA Tour rules and regulations. Right, so a lot to take away there. And first and foremost, we'll address the elephant in the room, and that is everyone working together, and no one saw this coming. So when LIV broke off, I think it was nearly 3 years ago, 18 months, so close to 2 years, it was massive, because when they announced the LIV Tour, they also announced like Phil Mickelson going, and Ian Poulter going, and then Lee Westwood going, and then this snowballed into Brooks Koepka, and then eventually Cam Smith would all join the LIV Tour. LIV Tour broke off and was kind of like this more fresh-faced party atmosphere, relaxed golf, competitive golf, you know, wear your shorts on the golf course, it's a Sunday around, lads and lasses, bring your beers, enjoy yourself, you know, which I could see why it worked, because it would bring more youthful and fresher eyes to the game of golf, which to me it needed. And you've got the PGA Tour, who have still got the biggest names, I feel, on there, with your Tiger Woods, your Rory McIlroys, your Scotty Schefflers, who are, you know, they're trying to get the PGA Tour by the scruff of the neck and try and modernise it, because it is seen as a traditional tour. It is. The majors don't count because they include both LIV and PGA members, so to speak, and we've all seen how competitive it can be across the majors, especially at the PGA Championships. But for LIV, for me, it didn't really work when the steam kind of ran out a little bit when they stopped collecting or trading big name players. You would always see these lines and rumours of players joining the tour, and it would be kind of like a who's who is going to join, and rumours of PGA tours like getting paid hundreds of millions of pounds and dollars. Even Tiger got rumoured to go across, who offered nearly $1 billion to join it, and I'm glad he didn't go to LIV Tour in the end, but that's a serious wedge of money. But LIV kind of had this thing where it started off quite well, where it would be on YouTube, as sort of quite accessible when they streamed it, and then they moved it to the CW network, which, depending on which news outlet you believe, the numbers have just dropped off the face of the earth. They've tanked down the shitter, basically. You can see why LIV have maybe been a bit more keen to say, well, we've got an okay product, but we just don't have the eyes or the backing, and maybe we could try and work with the PGA to get that kind of broadcast and those kind of eyes onto our product. Then you've got the PGA, who, like I mentioned, are quite traditional, and other than the majors, it hasn't, for me, been a standout season. It's been an okay season, but nothing that I've sat down and went, God, that tournament was unbelievable. Like, I'll never forget it. I've forgotten most of the events so far. Nothing really stands out, to me anyways, and that's where I think the two could work. And that goes with what I said before about how the team game to be brought into the PGA, that could be massively beneficial to the PGA, because everyone's talking about how there shouldn't be a cut-off after 2 rounds, which I kind of disagree with, because I would imagine for that it kind of pushes a player to try and make the cut, to try and get to a weekend, because if they don't make it, they don't get paid. But for to not have it kind of like loses all the fundamentals and challenge aspects of golf. I don't know. What do you think? Put in the comment section what do you think? Also, the reapplication of players who resigned the membership from the PGA and the DP World Tour can now reapply. That's huge. I'd imagine there'd be some fines, but that's huge. Can you imagine? Like, potentially, if it's very early days, Rory and Brooks and Bryson, Cam Smith and Phil, God, Phil, all on the same, not major event, a tour event. It's just going to be carnage, isn't it? It's going to be like a Royal Rumble. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. And the worst bit of all, I think, what really caught my attention was apparently different accounts were reporting this, that the players, the PGA pros, found out the news the same time we did on social media when it broke. That is ridiculous. To have such a big announcement and not tell your members. What on earth are they thinking? That blew my mind. Like, you see some of the tweets. I think Colin Morikawa tweeted, was what first at the blocks to say, I love catching up with the news on, I think it was great to see news broke first on the morning. Like, surely if you make this kind of big decision, you want to tell everyone it's happening. Can you imagine what Rory and Tiger are thinking right now? This is why I kind of think Rory hasn't been at his best the last couple of tours. I think he's kind of had it, and I massively just putting it out there, and I could be absolutely wrong. I feel like Rory had a feeling this was going to happen, and it's distracted him, because he was always seen as the pro PGA front runner whenever there was a press conference, especially in the early days of when LIV got announced, and that's when he played his best golf, I felt. But the last couple of weeks, we've just saw him just struggle, and I do wonder if this announcement has got something to do with it. Like he caught wind of it, couldn't say anything, and he's kind of thought, it's messing with my head here, that I potentially could be back playing with some of the folk that I kind of told to do one, especially Phil, if you saw Full Swing. That's going to be awkward when them two come together, mind. So what I'm quite interested to see here is not only how it'll benefit the male side of the PGA Tour, but also the female side of it and the LPGA as well. They put out a statement. I'll try and read it out here. As we have consistently said, a fractured ecosystem is not good for the game, and we look forward to learning what today's announcement means for the growth and impact of global golf. We remain focused on growing the LPGA, continuing to work with the top partners in the world to provide the best opportunity for membership, and to make sure that everything we do continues to allow us to inspire, elevate and advance opportunities for girls and women on and off the golf course. So it is interesting to see what would happen, not just with the male aspect, but the female aspect as well. Hopefully there'll be some kind of knock-on effect, and you know, purses again increase the purses. That's another thing as well, which I need to get onto. But maybe the purses up for the female aspect, which I'm all in for, by the way, and obviously there'll be a bump for the male aspect as well. It's still very early days, so it's quite hard because the news it's still fresh out there. I wanted to give it a couple of hours, go run it out before I came to the camera and had my say on it, but this is massive. Like, the purses, you got to think, the PGA purses are kind of known that they're big, but not astronomically big. Anything that would compete to what LIV would offer. So now you're going to see, can you imagine what the purse is going to be for just individual tours now? I dare to think. It could be like tens of millions of dollars, like compared like to your 2s, your 5s, depending on how big the tour event is. It could be looking at like 20, 30 million. And while I've been trying to like film this and look in between the takes, nothing's really come out in terms of an update other than, I think there was a player meeting. I think when I was listening to a podcast, I think the Bunkered podcast said there was a player meeting, which I'm not quite sure how that's come out about yet. I still kind of believe it. Right, so I'm going to find, just to summarise it up, the PGA, DP World Tour and LIV Golf are now together. It's going to be nuts next season, isn't it? Jesus Christ, right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. This is gonna blow up, innit? It's gonna fucking blow up. Oh, by the way, before I go, apparently Full Swing Season 2 caught the moment where it was confirmed and announced. I can't wait for Season 2 of Full Swing already. Right, all the shebang at the bottom. See you later. Fucking hell, this is gonna be rocket.